What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for NBA Wednesday, July 15th. These picks apply for the DraftKings Showdown slate. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's NBA slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, real quick for those who don't know how these simulated slates work, everything works the same. You build a full lineup using the players available in the slate. The only difference is the fantasy points each player scores is a fantasy score from any game that player has played so far this year. Only players with at least 15 games played are in the player pool. Pretty simple. They just take a score at random from previous games that player has played, and that's it. So knowing how that works, we've added some tools to Draft Dashboard so you can see all the possible outcomes of scores from each player, and we show the percent chance that the player has to score in each point range. So pretty handy. You can hover over the Sim Scores button and see right here exactly what scores this player can get for this contest. It will be one of these at random, and then you can see what percent chance they have to score in these point ranges. Okay, remember, we have a daily cheat sheet for esports for League of Legends, and that's linked from the Sports tab right at the top of Draft Dashboard. And we now have a cheat sheet for Korean baseball, NASCAR, and the MMA, and you can find those cheat sheets linked from the Draft Dashboard news. Okay guys, let's take a look at this DraftKings showdown between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Phoenix Suns. I'm going to start off by giving you the top value play on the slate, and that's Frank Kaminsky, projected at 22.1 fantasy points here tonight. That's 9.2 times value. He's 2,400 DraftKings salary. And let's take a look at his sim scores. He has a 29% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less, but he has a 39% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points, and he has a 32% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points. So I like Frank Kaminsky here at 2,400 DraftKings salary. Okay, and the best play on the slate, get this guy into your lineup. It's Deandre Ayton, projected at 41.5 fantasy points here tonight. This looks like a pricing mistake. That's 8.3 times value. He's only 5,000 DraftKings salary. Let's take a look at his sim scores. These scores are unbelievable for a 5,000 salary player. A 0% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less, a 17% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points, a 50% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points, a 30% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points, and a 3% chance to score 60 fantasy points or more. This player should be over $8,000 in the $9,000-$10,000 range. So I like Deandre Ayton here at only 5,000 DraftKings salary. He's a lock. Get him in your lineup. Okay, the next player is a decent value play. He didn't make my lineup, but depending on how you configure your lineup, you may need him. It's Nance Jr, projected at 25.6 fantasy points here tonight. That's 6.1 times value. He's 4,200 DraftKings salary. Let's take a look at his sim scores. A 21% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less, a 46% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points, a 27% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points, and a 5% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points. So I like Nance Jr here at 4,200 DraftKings salary. Okay, another player that I like. I didn't want to play this guy, but he did fit into my lineup. He's the best player in this salary range after you get past DeAndre Ayton. It's Tristan Thompson, projected at 30.6 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.3 times value. He's 5,800 DraftKings salary. Let's take a look at his sim scores. An 11% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less, a 35% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points, a 44% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points, a 9% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points, and a 2% chance to score 60 fantasy points or more. So I like Tristan Thompson here at 5,800 DraftKings salary. Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. And it's almost time for live sports to come back. We have NBA starting July 30th, and MLB is going to start July 23rd. But we are posting a daily cheat sheet for esports for the League of Legends contests, and we have a cheat sheet for Korean baseball and the MMA. And I think these tools are going to give you a big advantage. There's no human element here. This is a stats game. This is a math problem. This is where our tools can really help you identify the numbers, the percent chance these players are going to score within these point ranges, so you know what you're getting into with each pick. Okay, moving up in salary now, I like Kevin Love, projected at 37.1 fantasy points here tonight. That's 4.3 times value. He's 8,600 DraftKings salary. Let's take a look at his sim scores. A 4% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less, a 21% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points, a 48% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points, a 25% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points, and a 2% chance to score 60 fantasy points or more. So I like Kevin Love here at 8,600 DraftKings salary. Okay, the next player that I like Ricky Rubio here at 8,000 DraftKings salary. But I had some extra salary in my lineup, so I was able to pay up to Kevin Love. But if you're looking to save 600, take a look at Ricky Rubio, projected at 35.4 fantasy points here tonight. That's 4.4 times value. He's 8,000 DraftKings salary. Let's take a look at his sim scores. A 5% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less, a 33% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points, a 40% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points, a 16% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points, and a 5% chance to score 60 fantasy points or more. So I like Ricky Rubio here at 8,000 DraftKings salary. Now the two studs left, these are the super studs of the slate. We got Andre Drummond and Devin Booker. So Devin Booker is much more expensive than Andre Drummond. Booker is 11,600 and Andre Drummond is 10,400. And I just want to take a quick look at the 60 plus point upside. Andre Drummond with 12% and Devin Booker with only 5%. So Andre Drummond looks to be the best captain play on the slate, despite having a much lower price than Booker. This is a really tricky slate here. If you don't get DeAndre Ayton in for 5,000, and if you don't play Andre Drummond in your captain, I think your lineup's going to be behind. So I like Andre Drummond, projected at 47.3 fantasy points here tonight. That's 4.5 times value. He's 10,400 DraftKings salary. Let's take a look at these sim scores. A 2% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less, a 7% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points, a 35% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points, a 44% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points, and a 12% chance to score 60 fantasy points or more. So this is going to be my captain. So I like Andre Drummond here at 10,400 DraftKings salary. Just a quick note on this before we get into Devin Booker. My optimal lineup had 1,000 salary left over, so they were almost egging me on there to play Devin Booker in my captain spot versus Andre Drummond, but it just doesn't make sense to do that. So I left 1,000 salary on the table because all the players that I could upgrade to were actually downgrades. So this is why I say this is a tricky slate here tonight. So anyways, I like Devin Booker, projected at 42.4 fantasy points here tonight. That's 3.7 times value. He's 11,600 DraftKings salary. Let's take a look at his sim scores. A 2% chance to score 15 fantasy points or less. A 19% chance to score 15 to 30 fantasy points. A 41% chance to score 30 to 45 fantasy points. A 33% chance to score 45 to 60 fantasy points. And a 5% chance to score 60 fantasy points or more. So I like Devin Booker here at 11,600 DraftKings salary. But I don't like him as a captain. Let's just look at Drummond's 45 plus point upside here. Drummond has 44% chance to score 45 to 60. Devin Booker only a 33% chance to score 45 to 60. And then only a 5% chance to score 60 fantasy points or more, where Andre Drummond has a 12% chance to score 60 fantasy points or more. So it's important to get Andre Drummond in your captain spot. Leave that salary on the table if you have to. So take a look at my lineup at the end of this video. I'm pretty sure it's the optimal lineup. If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our Dfs Lineup Optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smickety smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again and good luck. Okay guys, if you're getting any value from this video, please hit that red subscribe button. We put out new fantasy basketball videos every single day. So if you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell notification, you won't miss out on any of our new fantasy basketball and fantasy football videos. Tons of free stuff coming your way. It only takes a second, and it helps us push out more fantasy content for you guys to consume each and every day. It's because of you subscribers that make this possible. So thank you for supporting this channel. This is a quick reminder, you should be reading the comments of this video. We have some savvy basketball fans who watch these videos, and they often give great plays and call me out when my picks are wrong. Wisdom of the crowd is a great way to get a feel for what players the field likes in today's NBA slate. We also have a DFS tool that shows you what players our members like for today's slate, so you can come on in and check that out.